so that we are certain members of the public can observe if they would like. Okay, that's going. Last thing I need to do, guys, is just go through our hearing script that basically just goes with the procedure of this hearing, and then we'll jump right into the presentation. So this is the July 21st, 2021 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20210094. The purpose of the hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing, unless a party has submitted evidence or testimony in the form of writing prior to this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. Excuse me. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If anyone from the public wanted to comment or speak, they would have an opportunity to do that after the applicant has presented its case. In the event anyone testifies in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. That's generally testimony you want to offer that consists of statements made by someone who is not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties or unforeseen circumstances with our video conferencing technology, we'll do our best to troubleshoot any of those on the fly, but to the extent we can't fix anything, I may continue or postpone this hearing at my discretion. Okay. Before we get started, I just need to swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any statements, any comments, asking any questions, really doing anything other than just strictly observing, then you need to be sworn in. Pardon me. So if that is you, if you could please take yourself off mute. Raise your right hand. I need everyone to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. All right, who's going to be taking the lead on telling me about this application?
That Mike Willenbrink for Twin Towers.
Okay, Mr. Willenbrink, the floor is yours.
Okay, Mike Willenbrink with Bear Becker. We're the engineer for the project. Just wanted to give kind of a summary of the proposed project. It's obviously located at Twin Towers Senior Living Campus, located at 5343 Hamilton Avenue. There was an original 6-unit residential building back on their South Ridge that was damaged due to storm and lightning a little while back and was demolished a few years ago. The owner is looking to replace that original 6-unit building with a 4-unit building and a 2-unit building. So that would be 2 proposed buildings as shown on the submitted plans. The requested zoning relief is related to section 1400-23 of the Cincinnati Municipal Code, where 1 principal structure is permitted per lot. As submitted with our application, the project is in harmony with the intent of the zoning code. The overall campus represents an area of roughly 110 acres and has multiple existing buildings on the campus. The location of the proposed project is secluded by heavy vegetation and won't adversely impact the surrounding areas. The proposed structures will be compatible with the surrounding buildings and areas. The conditions giving rise to the request for this variance were not created by the owner, as the existing campus has operated with multiple principal buildings since its original creation over 100 years ago. The strict application of the requirements of the code would result in practical difficulties for the owner. The senior living use with the maintenance and upkeep of the common areas by Twin Towers is a very practical consideration. The variance request will allow the owner to fully utilize the existing campus. Twin Towers has continued to make improvements over the years and maintain the campus to a high standard. We'd like to thank staff for preparing a thorough staff report, and we are in agreement with the staff report. We did have one minor clarification in the staff report. In the analysis section, the second paragraph, probably the fourth line down, there is actually a proposed small landscape style wall off of the patio areas of the 4-unit building. The maximum height would be approximately 3.3 feet, which would be less than the 8-foot height requirement of the hillside overlay regulations, but just wanted to point that out, that I think it's not a wall for the building, it's just for the patios there. But this is kind of a summary, noting that there was some more detail and some more supporting information included in our application, if necessary to reference. Kind of with that, we're here to answer any questions, and definitely appreciate everybody's time and your consideration of our request. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mr. Wellenberg. Mr. Fridley, did you want to add anything to his comments?
No, sir. I think he summed it up pretty well.
Okay, great. Doug, anything you'd like to add?
No, I'd just say that that retaining wall won't have any effect on the hillside review, since it's only 3 feet tall. That would still be in compliance and wouldn't kick in the hillside review. So we're still just looking at the multiple principal structures, and like Mr. Wellenbrink said, that this is pretty heavily screened on all sides. It's not going to be visible from anyone outside the complex there, and this is a common condition among the rest of the development. With it already has multiple principal buildings, so they're simply replacing the building that was formerly there with 2 separate buildings, but the density will remain the same as it was previously. So staff has no concerns with the proposal.
Gotcha. Okay. And the previous building was 6 units.
Correct.
Correct.
How large is the entire Twin Towers campus?
It's approximately 110 acres.
Okay. Let's see. I think you guys covered most of my questions here. So yeah, I don't have anything further. Anything from either of you guys about in closing or otherwise before we adjourn? Anything else you'd like to say?
Not I.
I don't believe so. Thank you very much.
Sure. So I believe this is going to be an approval. So I need to type up my official findings. That usually does, based on the queue that I have right now, that usually does take about 2 weeks. I'll do everything I can to get this out to you as soon as possible. But as soon as I finish a decision, I put it into a PDF and I email it to you all. So you'll have a copy of the decision just moments after it's finished. As soon as that happens, you can start working with Doug on the necessary permitting for the project.
Wonderful.
Any other questions right now?
I don't
No,
believe
sir.
so.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for your time and your testimony here today. If any questions come up in the meantime, feel free to reach out to myself or to Doug, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks.